Good early morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking for Bharat India on this day, February 27, 2022, Sunday, 3:58 a.m. नमस्कार, मैं सूरज सिंह सिविल इंजीनियर भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज 27 फरवरी 2022 रविवार 3:58 and title same as usual. Same title as usual, and this is, you can see this my name board first of all. Suraj_engineer at yahoo.co.uk is my email ID. Again I say Suraj underscore ENGINEER at yahoo.co.uk. International Professional Engineer India and Chartered Engineer India. This is my profession certificate. This is International Professional Engineer India. International Professional Engineer India, INTPE India, under International Agreement IPEA. And this is Chartered Engineer Certificate under IEI Royal Charter. And of course, this is Fellow Membership Certificate, Fellow of Institution FIE. This is FIE, that is this one, you can say FIE. And here is FIE, and you can see here is a book cover which was published in 96. It was written 92, 93, 94 and published in 96. This is building practice cover of that book, and this is quality file which says Bharat India speaks about, and this is coordination file. These files we will discuss with you. I'll close this Charter Engineer file for time being. I close FI file and I close book cover also, because we'll open it again. And now I come to quality, and this title of talk is Quality Projects Works, Coordination World, Communication Network, Concrete, Civil Field Engineering, Reliable Engineers, Work Contracts, Safety, Designs, Construction Methods, Claims Organizations. It's a long string, but it's a required string. When I say I am inclined on the issue of quality projects works. Quality, when I say quality of project works means every item is covered in projects, whatever project we do. In fact, projects, when I say, it's projects belonging to all branches of engineering and otherwise. Quality is a question mark to be achieved everywhere, and that's why I say quality projects works. Projects should be quality one, and when we say projects should be quality one, we should get it. If we don't get it, this means we fail. Then I say in this start of string, one end is quality project works and one end is quality at end. If you see, in between there is coordination word. Every work is done based on certain coordination. Certain coordination means we have to connect every requirement. Whatever be requirement, whatever be necessity, whatever be, you can say, mandate to do something practically, which we have to connect informations together. Required information, applicable information, valid information, functional information to process and reach certain next step, and then to next step. Likewise, until we get milestone or goal that is intended to be achieved, and that is called coordination world. Coordination means many links at same time simultaneously for certain activities and follow-up activities or parallel activities, or whatever we can say are required. Certain kind of coordination is necessary of higher degree, not of lower degree, because coordination means connection with technicalities, connection with technology, connection with mathematics, connection with formula, connection with relations, connection with connections itself, compounding collections, you can say, compounding corrections, you can say. So coordination is involved here, and we can say coordination world, because without coordination, even if you don't recognize it, coordination has to perform. Sometimes we do not know or we do not name, but coordination works, without which you cannot get anything done. So I'm just putting it in a formal way, coordination world. And because we name it coordination world, which depends on communication world. Communication, which is a network nowadays, network or networks, or you can say universe of network. You may say whatever, because network is unlimited now, massive network it is. Just like we say mass communication. Here I'm not saying mass communication, I'm saying communication network, because every work is dependent on communication, communication within itself, communication to yourself, and communication to others, and communications to work itself. And then of course when these strings says quality, project works, coordination world, and communication network, then of course what comes into play is material, and that we can say substance, or we can say concrete. Concrete means concrete strength, concrete state. I'm going to start about talking also about concrete material, but here's concrete state. Your work should be concrete, your work should be solid. Solid in a sense, it should be having some durability, it should give you something which is desired or which is intended logically, scientifically, systematically, and not emotionally. Concrete requirement should be fulfilled, and it applies to everyone in whatever field we work. We call it civil. And field means every field which is relevant to in common, and also every field in life. Wherever we stay, we work, and then we say, okay, we produce something, somewhere, whatever we produce, documentary, in documentary form we produce, or in physical form we produce, or in whatever form we produce, some result comes in, and that we can say it is engineering. Engineering product or engineering, sometimes it's not technical, but we say, okay, this has been engineered. Engineering says engineers use a verb as well as a profession. Engineering and reliable engineers, and of course when the engineers work on processes, work on engineering activities, they should be expert, they should be perfect, they should be result oriented, they should be quality oriented, they should be quantity oriented, and they should be progress oriented, efficient. And we can say if they do every time with using their mind, the support of their mind, and support their efficiency, support of their commitment, it can be said that those engineers are reliable one. Reliable engineers. When, of course, when we deal with this, we deal somewhere in a responsible way. As someone has to do this job, if I cannot do it for me, someone else would do it. I give it to someone else on payment basis, or on contract basis, we can say. Contract doesn't mean it should be written, it can be unwritten also, it can be verbal as well. Agreement means verbal agreement too, though it should be written, but every work cannot be in written form. Verb or trust can also work. In days, many times we can say every day, we ask someone do this and take this money. It happens. So that's also a kind of contract, though it's very temporary, short duration, but agreement is agreement. And it happens every week, okay, I'll pay you this much, you do this job for me. And that's also a kind of contract. So we can say contract moves every day. We don't even notice every day we contract, we can say use some services, we hire someone, or we can say there is no limitation to that. We enjoy services of someone, give me this service, take this money. A kind of exchange, you can say kind of exchange. You do something for me, in that exchange I'll give you this consideration or this cost. And then we say all these are connected. This means then when work is done, safety is required. When work is done, safety is required, and safety is a discipline itself, recognized discipline, which says safety is related to health and health is related to environment. And safety, health and environment in combination can be called safe handling. Safe handling of human resources, safe handling of works, safe handling of items, goods, safe handling of whatever is involved. And we have to keep health of people intact during work itself, subject to, of course, fatigue and subject to resting or working, whatever. We must take care of health of workers as well as we have to take care of environment. It's not only air and related environment or, you know, environment we consider, but also work environment. Work environment which impacts on psychology of workers. You cannot simply work because if you don't like to work, you are forced to work. You cannot create that environment, but willingly if you work, commitment you have, then you have to enjoy work, and you can enjoy work only if environment is suitable, is positive, is supportive. And this state which I have stated, a complete state, then this is one part of that, and this all is supported by another word which is called designs. Designs means you have to do something, some design exists for that. It's not your responsibility if you are not a designer, but somebody has given design for that, or patent for that, or process for that. All is called design. And those designs are available, so we have to really, it means design starts and only then we can do something. Or during work itself, we can have certain problems and we can find solutions for them. That's also kind of a processing design or intermediate designs, you can say. It's not original one, but design required depending on issues, depending on the circumstances. And we can say we have some problems, we have to solve them problems. And then it's all involved in construction itself, we can say. All these stages in combination can be called construction, plus construction requirements. Design is related to construction, all these quality issues, coordination issues, communication issues, all this we have discussed. They relate to ultimate aim of construction or manufacturing. Ultimately, we have that destiny is product, and product means construction or manufacturing or processing. And those methods must be known before we do something. And if we don't have those methods known, it's then really problematic. And we can say where the organizations are involved, we have to understand that point, that organizations are involved. And in that case, we have to be serious because it is this kind of process we have to do. And organization means institution or companies or bodies or individuals, whatsoever. There can be disputes on contracts and there can be disputes otherwise. There can be different kind of disputes also. But we have to keep in view what disputes or no disputes. Quality should remain intact. Quality should remain intact and process should remain intact. Despite dispute, there should be no adverse impact on quality and on work. And this is control on projects, we can say. Ultimately, if you put all these titles together, you may say we can define combinations of all these titles in a network form, that it's called quality, and its process of string, we can say, is a kind of coordination network or coordination key plan. We may say it is quality plan, it is coordination plan, whole system it is. So we have to ask about ourselves, where do we stand? In our country, Bharat, India, where do we stand? How do you conduct? And how other countries conduct? That's also an issue. But because now we are talking about quality, it is in general as well as particular, applies on us. And I call it quality and coordination. Quality we have described in subjective form, in objective form, in product form, or in method form. It's total combination of what we are talking about, that is quality work, complete work. And quality work means every person working for that project is involved. This means quality at various levels has to work. Similarly, coordination at various levels has to work. But if we sleep at one place or someone sleeps in another place, sleeping is a barricade. Sleeping becomes an obstruction. And sleeping means carelessness, avoidance of duty, carelessness, avoidance of duty, ignorance, lack of information, or not caring about, or ease, taking it ease, or no attention, or I'm working but I'm not serious, I'm working because I have to work, but I'm not interested. So many issues are there. We cannot just particularize them. We keep it general. Means it depends. But what we have to achieve is progress. When we say we are on progress, we are moving forward to get our milestone done or achieved. But that progress should not come at cost of quality loss. You can say we cannot allow quality go away. If quality goes away, what's left? Only material, and not spirited material or not expected material or working material of product. So we may say we have to check this all time through this string of title. And we can say we don't allow quality to slip or slide. We don't allow coordination to go away and leave everyone in stray form. So we have to think on that we don't allow quality and coordination to slip. Coordination is a technical word which I'm talking of. It's not liaison, I'm not talking of connections to people. I'm not talking of, interrelations to people. I'm talking of connections to activities, connections to technology, connection to requirements, connection to formula, connection to when one has to apply timings. It means coordination is a process network. It's not simply communication only. Communication is the basis of that. And information, whatever is required for coordination, is all material for coordination. And that material means scientific basis it is, informative basis it is. And that is called, professional basis. We have to combine quality and coordination together with available material, and that's called complete ingredients. Ingredients not doesn't mean only material or physical material or natural material. Information is also a part of ingredients. Information means technology. Information means engineering material. Information is whatever is required. Formula is required, method is required, technique is required, process is required, whatever is required. We can put in on the title coordination, and quality and coordination means material handling. If we can understand what is quality, how we have to operate, and how we have to work together, coordination, and that when called overall working. And that means a kind of analysis of working, analysis of quality requirement, analysis of coordination, analysis of materials we have. And then you can say technology or processing. Thus we can say quality and coordination work that way. And we can't allow it to sleep, because if it sleeps, we sleep, and we sleep, this sleeps. So we say sleeping here is not being serious or ignoring it, avoiding it. Here I'm not talking about physical sleeping or keeping your eyes closed and just resting. That's not this sleep. Sleep is state of being non-serious. And generally people on an average sleep a lot because they're not serious about work. They are serious normally on an average basis, not at a basis where will is required. Will free they are. That's problem. Commitment, dedication, devotion, or a rigidity to do something which we can say actually required, and therefore I cannot say in that case if I don't have those properties, attributes, I can't befriend quality and coordination. I'll say, okay, today I don't have information, no problem, leave it as it is. I take care tomorrow. And that's not required. I have to find information, I have to incorporate that information after making sure that it's sourced in. And then only I can now, I'm peaceful now. This stress won't disturb me tonight. And then I can say I may work in profession well, or otherwise I cannot work in my profession if I don't abide by these requirements. And only then we are friends or no friends, it can be decided. So what I can say, I can ask quality that you cannot leave me, but I ask myself, my quality which I have, you cannot leave me if I develop it. And that's point where I have to develop it, how to develop it. And that's very important point we have to consider. Quality, you cannot leave me because you are my destiny and for nation as well. You cannot leave me. If you leave me, then I have nowhere, I stand nowhere, and that's a big point of view we have to think of. So you say, quality, you cannot leave me because you are my destiny, and without yourself, without my destiny, I cannot move a single millimeter. And for nation also it applies. So we have to take quality in different perspective. It's not quality only, it's quality world I'm talking. Quality world, quality domain. It's not system, I'm saying myself included in that. And that's a point of concern we have to be very serious about. Simply speaking won't do, understanding would do. Quality is a mindset. In fact, quality is a mindset. It is such a set that cannot be left undone. We can't do, while we say we can't do, we have to achieve it, we have to hold it. Only then we can do something. We have to integrate quality requirement with ourselves. Everyone has to do it. And once you are engineer, then it's your religion. You got it. If an engineer thinks it's a privilege, no, it's not privilege. It is your duty. It's your responsibility. And if you cannot do it, then why are you there in engineering? That is a question mark, a question every engineer has to answer, and not only in our country but also everywhere else. But it is also true that engineer can handle quality extremely successfully, and it is engineer who is trusted for this purpose. That's why when it's called engineer, that you have to engineer it. You have to put required mind of this, performance mind of this into that product, because when product performs, we can say it has certain properties, that's why it performs. We require to establish quality permanently in engineering professions and also other walks of life. For that purpose, we deal, we talk, we understand, and we dedicate ourselves not in just speech or in just statements, but in practical life. Commerce angle should be there, but not to that extent as it is now. Thinking should not be based on commercial aspect, but on technical aspect, on durability aspect. Now happening is reverse. Everybody is interested in commercial aspect, in sales profit, in achieving targets without caring for quality, and that's where quality has been given no seat in that world. Everybody thinks how to move forward, to get more and more output, more and more money, and that's where quality is not considered. Quality should be priority, it should be first consideration. But I think more and more education, more and more economic hunger has brought quality state to a level from where we have to think again. It's same thing, means we show something and we don't do that. Showroom and factory, showroom and service center, showroom and performance do not match together. Showroom means showroom. Showroom should not be like elephant's teeth. It should be practical, it should represent what it does. And therefore, we don't want to show room. We want to show my room here, but we have to prove it in performance of duties, performance of products efficiency. Otherwise, you have to cheat yourself. I am cheating myself, and that doesn't matter. And ultimately, we should not forget whatever we earn shall not go with us, and whatever we earn is because of God, God's earth, God's solar system. We have no contribution to that, and it is fortunate that we have not to pay any price to God, to universe. We get so much from them free of cost. Available on earth, no one has capacity to buy earth, and no one can buy it. Earth is something which cannot be defined in this way. Yes, we know what is earth, but we should not forget development of earth is not easy, and just thinking of economy only won't work. God has given us, nature has given us permanence on earth, not for staying but for developing. We may come, we may go, earth will stay. Economy is temporary, and economy cannot be increased because we think in terms of money value. We don't think in terms of quantity and quality. Quality available in nature cannot be defined. It's available, and we have to use those materials every time. Whatever we do, we use this material available free of cost. We have to explore that, and we think we are owners of that, and that's where we miscalculate. No one is owner. No one is owner of this earth. No one is owner of this system, of solar system and universe. We have to be clear that we are only workers here. Everybody is a worker in this world because we don't stay here permanently. We can't stay, and that's also beyond our control. How long will we stay? And therefore, we should respect quality, and we should respect coordination, because we have to coordinate with information. And many times information comes from universe. Sometimes we don't know how I came to know about this, how I got this information, we do not know. So we have to be very concerned about quality engineering and coordination engineering, and that's where I always think I tried best, because you can only try if others, team members cooperate with you, or people can cooperate with you. Only then I say quality can be achieved. And coordination is such a word, it's very difficult to understand. Means it's a continuity, you can say. Coordination is a continuity in life. Important coordination lies within you, within everybody. We say always coordinated, but we don't understand what coordinate what. You have to coordinate first within yourself. You have to coordinate within yourself what you are doing, how you are doing, what's way out. Even if you don't have an answer to that question, you are asking yourself, don't be in panic. The answer is available there. Sometimes, it doesn't come out immediately because of various pressures on your system within yourself. You are in stress, you are not in active mind, or you are in free mind, or you are, you have some worries in you. But don't forget, answer is available. It's only retrieval time. It's only time when you get it immediately, and you don't know you got it, but it would come to you because it's your one. Answer is yours. When you raise some questions, nobody answers you, but answer is available, and you get this answer. Don't worry. Maybe it's studied well, but you forgot it. It happens. You study and you forget. And forget not because you don't have capacity to remember, but there's a random memory in you itself. RAM, we call it computers, systems. RAM, which is random access memory, and also we have random access memory. We have not expanded that, and once we expand that memory, its zip form shall unzip. Now it's maybe in zip form, or we don't have expansion, and that doesn't come immediately to answer, but it's there. So we have to be very serious about that. Means we cannot simply deny facts, and we cannot simply value or convert our efforts into money value. That's no use, because sometimes money is not important, work is important, or some part is important. We can say money even cannot buy your mind. Money cannot buy so many items that which can't be equated in terms of money value, and that is quality engineering and coordination engineering. Coordination is a kind of big network in you. You can coordinate mathematically, scientifically, or otherwise, whatever way. You have to find requirements on coordinations, and this is a limitless work. And you can say whatever in you can be further coordinated is compound coordination, coordination over coordination. And you can say coordination is a kind of research work also. Already you have got something, you have to meet them together. You maybe have 10 requirements. Those requirements are separated or individually available, but they have no communication with them. They have no combination to contemplation, etc. And that's why we can say coordination. That means there are so many ways you can define coordination. I try to find, again I say, I try to find from internet, searching or by doing that, but I am disappointed that not much information is available on coordination issue. We say coordination is very important, but people are not concerned with, or they don't take it seriously that something should be thought of and contemplated and given to world. That could be someone else, or maybe people are not clear, or they're not interested in coordination. I found in my careers a very few percent of people only who are interested in, you can say, coordination. Now coordination means a thoughtful connections within yourself. You can coordinate where available information, find some more answers, and that also become a part to coordinate. So we can say coordination engineering, and coordination engineering is not easy. I mean easy in a very scientific way. It's performance way, and we have no excuse for any concession if you don't have this. There's no compromise, no way quality cannot be compromised, and if you want to compromise it, then you degrade yourself. You come down from your level. Compromise means you have certain level. Okay, that level can be said, I accept this. That is different, but limit can be fixed, but you cannot even compromise on requirement. And system, fine, we have to make systems. Systems are available, everywhere is available, but that system should not be for sake of system only or for certification only. It should be for performance, it should be for application. And we know engineering world is filled full of applications. Without applications, engineering cannot survive. So we don't believe in formality only, we have to believe in work. We have to believe in system that works, that's not fragile. System should not break, it should be functional, it should be efficient, it should be standard one. We may say, okay, we perform this, we have devised this system, and this is our standard. We have to at least limit to this one, we have to come to this point. We may go beyond that also, but what we have to see, we have to search out, has it been happening? And that is a point. And we have many questions on that. I'm not going to But there are some red statements, red lights or red lines which you have to resolve, and this I am explaining is all red line conversion. It's all the red line conversion we are talking of. So we can say it's therefore very important part, and when we jump onto this, we'll find so much in this file, deliberations we have to talking. In engineering world, thoughts are very important for practicalities, and engineering world is therefore very, very important, and we give coordination world. It's also again same file but in different forms. Coordination engineering, which is really, sometimes we say, I did not study this subject. People may say, you're right, you did not study this subject, because this is a study over study. Or whatever studies you have, whatever materials you have, what sciences you have, whatever definitions you have, or whatever provisions you have, or you have to study them well. When you are on project, you are a responsible person. You are not a student. Of course, you are a student in field, but you are a leveled student, a tagged student, or you have got some education in engineering or in other sciences. You know what is science, what is requirement, what documents you have to apply, all that you have, and you understand each and every point. You have to, there are so many informations available, and you must have knowledge about those information. But all information cannot be applied together. Stages are there, requirements, relations are there, that you have to find yourself being professional, and that's why projects are with you, because you are given confidence, or people trust in you that you can do this job. And for doing that job, coordination is required, and that coordination means you have to study yourself. Nobody would tell you what to do, because you have mind, you have label, you have title, you have responsibility, and you have to do yourself. Information is available, you have to select which information is important. The information itself would tell you, I am required or not required, or your job shall tell you, your project shall tell you what's required. And you have to list out and check where is requirement answer. Is a question I have to answer, and the information is available somewhere. And then you have to make sure that the information which you discover, you find, is relevant to that item, and how to operate on that requirement. What requirement you have to operate on that to reach certain point, and there will be so many informations you have to reach to certain point on every information, and those points may make many lines or many figures, which is your own and your domain at that time. And then because this is my goal, I'll reach here, don't worry. So coordination engineering is something which is within the world of engineering, but individual may accept, may use it, or may not use it sometimes, because it's mind related, it is concentration related, and it's not easy game for everybody to concentrate, and therefore everybody cannot do it. But those who are responsible for this, they are forced to do, otherwise they cannot do work which is professional one. So coordination engineering is therefore very different world, where we cannot simply sleep. We have to think of that in each and every aspect. Coordination engineering is very small file, it's not big one, but it's going on developing gradually. You can say I started this on, we can say in I can say February, 31 2022, yes. On you may say on February I started, it is 31st January, so February just 3 weeks, not even over. You can say 3 weeks, or say February is now going to close, so just 3 weeks or 4 weeks I have just done much, not much, you can say something on this. On this file you can say I have written even title, coordination engineering, projects, public and engineers, and also some For those who have interest in Hindi, you can say, if I think let me blow this file better a bit. Just let me blow this file and come back and write it blow. It's difficult to read, so I'm saying okay, I'll blow it to 150. Okay, let's blow so it's a little visible. I can see this please. Okay, so it's now in Hindi also I have written because people may know in Hindi, although other language is a problem for me. I can write in Samanvay Abhiyantri. Samanvay means a kind of actionable time or time of action. Or you may say you have to keep level every information. Samanvay means talmel. Talmel means it's kind of a train to move together. You cannot say engine is moving and four bogies are not moving. If engine moves, all should move and track should be clear. It should not be reconciled. That's called. You cannot say train is moving, other train is coming from this end. We have to keep both trains moving and should not strike each other. Like that, it is Samanvay Abhiyantri, coordination engineering, and we say Yojnaya and Abhiyantaya Sarjan. Yojnaya means projects, and Abhiyanta means engineers, and Sarjan means public. That's what it says. And we also say for reliable quality engineering works, and reliable means which has got responsibility, a liability, accountability, and dependability. We cannot move without engineering works. Must be delivered, and it should be reliable, so that it works according to requirements. Whatever lifetime it has, what its quality it is, how it's performed, must go on. And we can say in that case, coordination engineering is a must. And is a must means what? Coordination engineering must is a requirement or it's just desire. No, it's not desire, it's requirement. It's like, we have to exist, we have to survive, we should have good body and health, and we should have good soul also. Laterns, we call them. Sometimes say we have to follow the laterns. But what's the spirit? What's latter? Laterns in literary form, whereas spirit is something which is spiritual form. We cannot see that, but we can use that. So coordination engineering is a must, and without this we can make mistakes, we can forget something. It's not formal subject, but it is a required one. It's a done subject. And those who do it, they know it. And those who don't do it, they just take it, okay, we'll leave it to this means. But it's a fact. Many people think you have to deal with people, that's coordination. Well, that may be one part of coordination, and that's not all coordination. People doing for what? I have to talk to people what? Just to say hello or what? No, it is information. That is we deal with. Yes, that may be available with people, that's different way, because they are sources or they are centers to get that, and that's why I deal with them. And in fact, dealing is not coordination. What we get or give, that fits into requirements, and that's called coordination. And then the information will come in time, and that's called coordination. If it comes before time, okay, it can wait, but if it comes after work is done, that's not coordination. That's called failure of coordination. So we can say there could be any number of information. There could be many number of informations. Those informations must be available before these are to be used, or these are to be, you can say, performed on. And nothing should be solved. And that's what we say. We got all information in time and we use that. There's no delay on this part. And we can say that there's a professional engineering. It's a paper only, small paper or small reflection. Why think about it's not that's commendable or it's mandated, but my mind is put in this, there's no experience. And the public must be aware about this, and that's the point of importance. Public must be aware about this. And we can say, if you miss coordination, means if you don't do coordination, which means we cannot do good engineering. It's very simple. Because if you don't have information which is to be used or which is worked upon, which is utilized in that activity, how can you do activity? Got my point? I know it's not that you can say I have software, I have building information management or information model I have modeling software, it will help. I don't agree with that. Because that is also made by someone, that's also produced by someone. Based on that, you means indirectly you are software, I would say. Every engineer is software, because engineer means mind, it's development of mind. Engineering education means you have developed your mind to some extent, and you have to keep on developing, because once mind is developed, it doesn't wait for anyone. Your mind may be very active, very fast, very efficient, but it should be used, means. And there's no way you have that power of mind, don't use it. I don't think that's right. It has to be used, maybe sometimes. It's used with carelessness, and that may be another issue. It should not be carelessly used with thoughtfully. Engineering is that knowledge which forces everyone to analyze. Engineering is analytical world. Engineering is a world where you have to understand each point logically. And not because I'm saying you accept it. No, that's not engineering. It is justified, it is true, it is logical, it is derived one, not just empirical. Or if it's empirical, it's a proven one. So we have to say that. So many subjects we learn in engineering, you can say, I think this only profession, only education in the world where engineering, you can say, you have to learn a lot. And learn a lot in sense means a 5 years period. It's not enough for learning engineering. Even 10 years enough, not enough. We have to learn engineering by doing engineering, and that's very important. So we should have habit of learning. Okay, first degree or second degree, that's fine, that you have to, because you have to grade yourself. That's why we go to universities for learning engineering, but real learning is applications of what you learned. If you can apply that, not just keeping as a title, but to apply engineering, you will know facts when you apply it. During application, during working, we know facts, and that's facts means coordination is involved. We learn coordination in field. When you join field, maybe we're hesitant. Everybody is hesitant, because everybody doesn't know how to work in field. But once your hesitation is it's exited. That way you just become a part of that system, and in that case you get no hesitation, but mindset changes towards engineering. And that mindset change is very important, because your mind remains active on activities and how you have to do it, how you have to move this project, how to push project, how to get more better quality, and how to handle all interconnections, interrelations, and that's we can say all this information, because no engineering is complete. Every project has many engineering branches involved, engineering subjects are involved, even commercial is involved, and non-engineering is involved. We have to handle human resources successfully, we have to handle equipments used successfully, we have to handle many other requirements, many other points, and those we have to understand, and that takes time, of course, because it depends on experience one has got, one has knowledge, all that. So we can say if there is no coordination available, we miss it. This means we miss good engineering, and that's one point very concerned for purpose of understanding coordination. And when we try to involve in coordination domain, we have to deal with communication. How do we communicate? Do we communicate formally as we used to do, or we communicate according to change scenarios? But we cannot simply communicate only. We have to keep in mind also. Communication is also a source, like we have material source. Communication is a source that carries bears with it information, and that information has to be classified to which item it joins or which item it applies. That we have to know. Experience tells that, engineering sense tells that communication support is it is, and we know if there is no communication, if there is no coordination, we cannot have clean engineering, we cannot have, you can say, reliable, or rather should claim is reliable here. If we miss his communication or coordination, we can't get good engineering. Communication is a must, is a mandated must, and coordination for purpose of coordinated engineering, coordination in engineering, we have to deal with this. So we can say communication support is a must for reliable coordination, and that's why I try to explain, because I'm not getting responses on coordination. The people may do, I can't say they won't do it, but it's every project is an example of coordination. Every project which is successfully done is an important example of every coordination. That point we have to understand. And it may be small project or big project, whatever it is, we had to be very serious about that matter. Projects are projects, we can't say no. And we can add more and more projects on every project. And that's another point. I start talking on this just recently, but I think this has no limit. Depending on additional information we get, we can confer a lot. And we got one answer, then we have to find where the converted question, answer to the question again, and we have to raise more questions and raise more answers, get more answers. And that's really wonderful. If you say you have to do it, it's really, no answer is complete or incomplete. Answers gives birth to questions, and questions have to be answered again and again. And you can see all this, I'm showing to you, there's many as such. I'm just doing a little reference only, how results tell you how many activities are involved together. And that's a point of real requirement, and you can see real understanding how do you deal with that. That's not a joke, it's no joke, it's something that we have to worry about, we have to think of, and we have to do it. And we can say that, we have to coordinate in what way, we have to decide, we have to think on. Nobody can tell you what you have to do. Somebody may direct you, but not take responsibility on that performance you have to do based on direction. If you accept, or no direction if you don't accept, that's different. But then we have to, coordination engineering is a must on project, we can say. Our title is coordination engineers on every project, or must on every project. You have to, no need justifying that. If you want to justify, you can justify also the problem for that, because coordination means it applies, it links all stages of project: design stage, construction stage, controls, otherwise also after sales. Coordination exists everywhere without any physical form. It happens in mind to mind. It carries with it, or requires to carry with it, mind. It carries with it something that cannot be defined otherwise. Coordination engineering is a must on every project, we know that. And we may read again and again and find more and more thought material. We can say designs, construction, controls are very absolutely related, and these are interrelated into themselves. Means design is related to construction, construction related to design in a gross way, and there are many controls involved in both. If you can design, you have various controls, and you have work on site or in factory, you have many other controls. They're all interrelated, require sections. For achieving from successful start to completion of a project, which of course must be applicable throughout project stages, with all works be smoothly affected. That's what we say. These sections or stages, as we said, with all works be smoothly affected. These sections or stages are initially conceptual in designing for work execution purposes. procedure implementations about how to chart out construction of design project works, project construction works, currency, decision and works carrying out, testing, completion and commissioning, launching, use of project. When project title terminates and it becomes operational title, or you may say elsewhere, designs may be considered or safe, or otherwise designs can be considered, or otherwise you may say, but real requirement is the construction involves actual expenses, it involves use of materials permanently, it involves, you can say, technologies permanently, it involves efforts of human resources, it involves contract time as well as financial liabilities, and you can say it attaches to reputation also, professional reputation, which all points must be cared about sincerely by both stakeholders. As such, honor an engineer designer at this stage. We have to take it very seriously. It should be a certain motto that the objective of an organization is to apply good controls on project so as to keep initial or keep in line on schedule planning being an actual part of controls. We cannot say that this is a fixed one. It's variable, it varies, every control varies. It depends on what item it is, what work activity it is, and also different projects have different degrees of control, and it should be given clearly, it should be mentioned clearly what degree of control it should have, because controls are ultimately controls. It should be motto actually of our organization, apply good controls for good results. So that's what I'm saying. There's so many ways you can talk of. There are various activities done, various divisions is done, so you can say there's chances that we miss something, but if you coordinate properly, you may not miss anything. And coordination is something, complete process. Process should move. We should not say the shortcut we take here. In works, shortcut doesn't work. We have to think of that. Shortcut doesn't work in engineering works, because engineering works are explanatory. These are oriented technologies, and if you don't use that, if you don't abide by that, you can lose every requirement. So it's not simply I'm talking of something, but it should really something very, very reasonable. It should be very important, cannot be just taken for granted. Engineering has a world where I think mind is utilized in every way. We cannot just move forward without understanding what's that we have done. What is done has to be reviewed by self, has to be reviewed by others, so that if you make mistake once, it should not be made second time. And that's called RAM of your mind should be open to that. It cannot be simply taken otherwise. And we have to say that we have to understand itself. No reference can teach us. We have to forget that. We have to ensure collaborative practices are effected or are adopted, and we have coordinating quality control system, and we have adopting standard methods and procedures, coordinating preparation and or issue of production information to contractors and suppliers. The reviewing designs prepared by contractors and suppliers, likewise we can say, where there are different specialist contractors or suppliers involved in stages of design, in particular during technical design, or you can say a design coordinator must be appointed as a person, not as a toy. And we have to see how history full of that, all these points. And so much is written here, we'll go one by one all time. But I think it's better to express in mind. People can understand better if you express in mind. They should not have any fear, any level of agitation. This question, how can I ask it? That's not actually true. You have to set out this point to get in this point. We have to move forward on understanding what is engineering and its coordination, what is engineering with coordination, and what is design versus coordination, what is construction versus coordination. Engineering is something, it's, of course, a person should be educated, should training of engineering, thorough understanding of profession is also one part. How do you understand this profession? Or can we live only in villages? Or we have to live in cities? It also depends on your will. That will must be charted out, must be known, and education should open that door. Information is available. We cannot simply live on others forever. We should have some capacity in ourselves. The capacity is significant one. So we say minute deliberation it is. In few minutes how much you can know what's available. We cannot, coordination cannot be taken for granted. It's an important one we have to see. It's not coordination in engineering but also everywhere. We have many subjects on sites, we have many problems, and we have books and volumes of documents. And if somebody sees how many books are here, how many volumes are here, one becomes, oh my God, you have to study so much to do this job. An ordinary man would say that. And an experienced one won't worry about these volumes because what was given is already agreed, so there's no way. For aggression, one had to do it, but no, it's not that one. So it's therefore a very important part here. How do we move further? How do we consider that? And you may say, sometimes you may feel I'm just passing time. But no, that's not true. I'm trying to explain my way. You have to listen. Better listen, or you speak up and tell us where it's being wrong. Maybe in our times, I do not consider coordination maybe it's difficult to know, but when you check it and apply it, that this can be answered to this problem, then we understand this coordination for sure. That's very right. Coordination is something that everybody has to. Even no one can explain to you. No one can explain to you. It's not formalized. Coordination is not formalized. It's a requirement. It's a support requirement. You can find information because you can say when this material says required, it's not required. You can make fabric. You can chart your plan schedule. You can do. You can write so many forms based on requirement. Formalization of quality forms can be done. Formalization of forms. We can form. We have to do. So much is said in that. So we have to be very clear about that. Engineering coordination is a must to say. Without this, we cannot move. We should not feel shame on that because engineering is not simply you have to learn in university. It's time-wide, worldwide. We have many projects. We have many works all time. It depends. But person who is intellectual, who knows, that person first tries to get information, and that's we can say comprehensive information corrected. That person is different type who tries to get all information together based on experience of person, what's required, and that's why you can say reliability Consistency is required. Reliability and consistency of a person, competency of a person. Only competency is also not adequate. You should have competency, but you should have consistency also. You should have certain kind of certain arousing impact on body. We have to be very serious about that. And I think administration or administration of coordination is some furthermore delicate, but once you adapt yourself to that one, it shall certainly help you, help everybody. It's not a joke, but something very important. Coordination. Coordination is a kind of a widest domain you can have. Maybe domain which likes you, which satisfies you, not with that expert. We have to learn through requirements of phases, how we have to move, how we have not to move. And there are so many points are written here. I can't read all them. I can't read all them. You can't read them, but you can understand them. And we can see also true that in current engineering and advanced project scenario, just depending on certain proclaimed software may not be absolutely associated or injured. We have to realize this fact. And if we don't realize this fact, we can miss a lot. When we jump onto coordination understanding, we have to see various points in coordination. We can see so much is written here, it will be added more and more depending on, just like the foregoing explanations have been charted out for purpose of conducting necessary brainstorming that may be called for by others for contemplating on this essential purpose, because project means absolute and optimum use of funds and not to waste funds for achieving futile results. But you cannot expect non-professionals to realize these facts. So many branches are involved, so many engineering are involved that and we have to see why actually. For example, we take this here's a point: preparation of bills of quantities. Bills of quantities for each discipline. Each discipline is very much necessary. We can say it's very much necessary, though we say it's a quantity service job. I'm not talking of job whose job is it. That's different view. Whose job is it? But what necessity we have preparation of bills of quantity. It's a big question mark. Means quantities, who can find out quantities, who can work on that. That competency level has to be understood. And it's not ordinary part. It's not ordinary requirement. It's a big requirement, you can say. Not only requirement, it's a kind of mandate. You cannot move without it. If you want to move without it, you cannot find any answer. Coordination doesn't mean only connection. Coordination means quantifying also, a kind of quantification, because it will tell you where you have to stand, how you have to move, and that's the important point here. How do you have to move, how much you can afford, how much you cannot afford. And quantification is something you can say it's related to total budget. Bill of quantities, we say bills of quantity, or do we say statement of quantities of various inclusions we have to do with projects. No project is free for quantity, and quantities will decide. Quantity shall decide cost. Quantity shall decide, depending on team composition, what duration it shall take to do, to carry out or to deliver. The quantity is people saying it's only quantifying. I'm not saying quantifying. I'm saying quantity engineering, which means what allowance do you give to that aspect, because its money value means it's not simply transformation, it's real requirement money value which one spends must get back. And we know that otherwise we can't do it. Bill of quantity is such a subject. Of course it is a subject. We may call it not bill of quantities but estimation itself. And you know what does estimation mean? Estimation means handling quality system of project, using that for work. Therefore, rather than saying only quantity service game, play game, we have different games. We have to understand bill of quantities first of all. Though it's not big, but it's a statement, its alliance, its standing should be fixed in. And it's not my imagination that I can do it. It is document that will decide that bill of quantity is something you have to study whole documents, to extract bill of quantity, to form bill of quantity. It's really very, very nonsense subject. But it is basis of contracts, it's basis of price evaluation. That basis must be known. It must be known. Reconsider of quantity is measure methodology that can even before documents are ready. So we have nothing except typical indication. It's going to work, and even sometimes quantity is also provided. Yes, early. Sometimes small items are expensive, and sometimes big items are not expensive. It's like that. But BOQ is not small or big. BOQ is BOQ. It has to tell us what is going to be included. Include where? Include that accommodation. Where this BOQ will stand for a period. And quantification is a voluminous job, we know this. Quantification is a job which takes sometimes long thinking also. If designated As I was saying about BOQ, it's a very important part in our work. It is something without which we cannot even survive. Though it is very boring, of course, in fact, it is boring in the sense that we have to work out all the details to find BOQ, to get BOQ. Various quantities are involved, various specifications are involved, and varying drawings and relations are involved, market is involved. BOQ cannot be just named only in this item, this is quantity, we have to explain that as well. We have to explain, we have to include specifications that are required for item, that item. It can vary from one point to the point. And then we should you have to realize this fact. BOQ formation, for what is purpose of BOQ, that we have to know. Purpose of BOQ may be working for green hair and real high lines. I've seen some people speaking very good English, right? And very good Arabic. Indeed, BOQ is required. I've seen many BOQs in Arabic also, English and many other languages. Ultimately, it's BOQ that's English issues because in those countries should accept that they will not leave aside, but they'll leave go. Uh, BOQ is very, very complicated, very different item. We have to go through all the specifications. In fact, the specifications were also prepared by some quantity quantity personnel, because quantity is dictate what to do. They assume that since customer is having experience, yeah. Alright, we have to go further on this. We say preparation of all documents. It's very important point here. Preparation of all documents, very very important point we have to see. It's no way optional but mandatory. No way optional. See, bid for job, bid for project is not a piece of paper. It's not a piece of paper, it's a word, you can say. It's a pool of words, you say, and particularly on lump sum projects, I should say, lump sum contracts, I should say. It's not simple item rate. We can't say that, where designs and works are involved, where many disciplines, many branches of engineering are involved, where projects refer to professional activity, where projects are considered world of, you can say, where you can say anything, but you have to prepare documents based on which prices can be worked out. Those documents are